Hello and welcome to the HEALcast. I am Bobby, joined by my awesome co-host Morgan. Morgan, say hey.
Hello.
And we're back. It's been what, 3 or 4
Whole summer.
months? Yeah, a whole summer. But we're back. We're excited to be doing this yet again, spinning up another year of the HEALcast. Uh, a lot of awesome content to come. Can't wait. But we're gonna start off week one a little light, just kind of ease back into things. So we are joined here today by our president, Andrew Malmstrom. Andrew, go ahead, introduce yourself a little bit.
Hey guys, I'm Andrew. If anybody is first trying to listen to this, I'm president of Heal, thankfully this year, somehow. Um, um, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great year. We're really going to try to bounce back from COVID, and hopefully be as inclusive as ever with new members. And hopefully we're going to grow a little bit. And I'm excited for Thon.
That
Penn
was good.
State is back. Anyone listening who doesn't know or is listening to this in the future, Penn State was completely virtual last year, and we are back to in-person classes with masks. But other than that, we're basically doing all the things that we used to, which is super exciting. We're looking forward to football season coming back. Fingers crossed with all of that. I think it's going to be good. Um, and yeah, we're just happy to be back, and we missed you all over the summer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been an exciting time. We're actually starting this like week 2 of classes. We've
Yeah.
been some busy beavers, so
we have
sorry we're late, but we're here nonetheless.
We had the involvement fair all last week, and we finally had our first in-person meeting since what the spring
2019,
sophomore year, 2019,
maybe
March,
maybe
on 2020,
on
on 2020,
2020.
March
Yeah,
of 2020.
March of 2020. That was our first one back, and it was pretty good. We had a great turnout. So
yeah,
Yeah. So, the topic of this podcast, or I guess really the hope is, we've had Andrew on before, so you can listen back if you want to learn more about him. But we really wanted to get on here and just address some of the common questions that we've been getting at the involvement fair. Just the things that people seem to really want to know about Heal. So this will be one of those like shorter episodes where we're just going to rapid fire some questions, and maybe we can kind of take turns answering them. So if everyone's good with that, let's go ahead and get started.
sounds good.
The first question, and we can all go through, I think the question that I heard the most is what makes HEAL different from other special interest orgs or just other Thon orgs in general?
you want that, Andrew?
Sure. Great thing. I got practice answering this about a million times at the involvement fair. Heal generally, we're a smaller organization, usually 60 to 100 members each year. Benefit to that for us is you kind of get a smaller group of people that you can meet and you can kind of have a family and to talk to people and get to know people. We're really just trying to be a group of friends that people can hang out, use as a resource if you're struggling in school. I mean, we have people that are practically in every major or know someone who's in a major. So yeah, definitely a huge thing that it's benefit to being a small org, get to meet our families. We're just really excited to be able to be that resource this year, especially since we're back in person.
Yeah, definitely. And just to sort of piggyback off of that, there's nothing wrong with any of the bigger orgs, obviously, but we just feel that I know for the three of us and for a lot of our members, it was a lot easier to come into something where you felt more connected from the get go. The faces you see were the ones that you continue to see. It's not a random hodgepodge of 400 to 1,000 people coming in and out. It's the same 60 to 100 people. Made it a lot easier to build a connection with the families and to just really personalize your Thon experience, right? Because Thon is something that is so wonderful for one of the reasons that it can just be so different for each person. And Heal allows you to really have that formative experience with it and make it your own.
Awesome. Both really good answers. Does anyone want to ask the next one? Otherwise, I know I have another one in my head.
One that I heard a lot, and I guess this is more of like a general Thon question. So what is the difference between a special interest organization and the other ways you can be involved in Thon? Referring mostly to committees, I believe. And I can answer that as well if you guys want to run with it. I'll take it.
Okay, you can take it.
Right. Okay. I am a captain, so I know about this one a bit. So an SIO or special interest org on campus at Penn State, their primary goal as a club is to fundraise for Thon. There are lots of clubs and organizations on campus that do fundraise for Thon. Uh, Looking at like Club Cross Country has a really big Thon outlet, but they also, as the name suggests, do cross country. Special interest organizations solely exist for Thon fundraising. Now, special interest organizations and committees differ a little bit. Special interest orgs, like I said, fundraise, so they kind of raise the money for Thon. They do the back end work there. Committees are more involved with the actual event of Thon and the administrative work there. So, kind of what happens Thon weekend, but also leading up to it and interacting with the Four Diamonds. So, there's a bunch of awesome committees that you are able to join. You can do both. Um, some cool committees are R&R, where they do a lot of event security and fundraising safety for orgs and everyone involved in Thon. Dancer relations help take care of dancers during the weekend and get everyone hype. Entertainment runs a lot of or set up a lot of the events that happen in the Bryce Jordan Center on Thon weekend. Special events are responsible for planning things like the Thon 5K, the Family Carnival, the Closer to a Cure celebration, and then my personal favorite, technology, does all of the boring and not fun like website stuff. So you can do both. You can join a committee and you can be on Heal. Uh, Fun story from our founders, right? Heal was actually created by a group of captains that couldn't be captains anymore because they
They
were
weren't
studying.
captains.
They were captains and they were studying abroad, so they were unable to be captains going forward. So they made a special interest org instead, so they could still do Thon together.
I'm almost positive they were just on morale. They were not captains. They just enjoyed being dancer relations people. Like,
I will go back and check it, but
I'll
fact
see what
check me. I'm pretty sure they were captains.
all right, whatever. Good for them if they were. If not, doesn't matter. Another question that I feel like we got a lot was, what do you do? That's probably my favorite question because it's such a loaded answer. But does someone other than the fundraising and all of that we just spoke about, I think I'll take the family relations portion, and then Andrew, if you want to take the other portion, the
Yeah.
other things that we do as friends, and Bobby, you can kind of piggyback. So I'm a family relations chair this year, so along with Sam Smeel, we're co-chairs. So I always like to think of Thon as kind of like two prongs. So there's the financial support as well as the emotional support. So we have two awesome families, the Tuckies and the Hesses. And so family relations is mostly focused on that family support. Not that we don't do things within, fundraising and everything as well, but our focus is on our families. And so we have two Thon children who were brought to us by the Four Diamonds and are both currently in remission, which is awesome. And, we love to celebrate their story. Um, and so we get the opportunity to go visit them for their birthdays or for other fun things in normal times. And then, with COVID, we've just been trying to work with everyone's comfort levels and, what feels is best appropriate at the time. So, working through all of that, but, we get to see them in a normal year before Thon, in a normal year also at Thon when we're in the BJC. We're kind of pending the decision for this year on that. But nonetheless, we get to support our families. So we have Becca and Kim, um, and we get to see their families as well as them as individuals, and it's been a really neat thing to kind of see them both grow in their own individual lives. So Becca just started her sophomore year of high school, and Kimberly actually got married a few weeks, probably a month ago now, maybe a little over that, which is super exciting as well. So we kind of get to see them both grow in their own respects, and get to support them as two really awesome families that honestly sometimes or all the time feel like family to us, and they sometimes provide just as much emotional support to us as we do to them. So it is a really neat opportunity that we have.
Yeah, it's awesome. We value them so much. Other things that Heal does in general, like past families and past fundraising. We love to do a lot of activities. I know this week we just had a bunch of people sign up for IM Sports. We're doing softball and dodgeball. Dodgeball, it looks like we're probably gonna have to like have 3 or 4
We're gonna have a
teams
lot of
to even.
teams for dodgeball. Yeah.
We're gonna have a ton of teams.
We're gonna be playing
Yeah.
ourselves.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be crazy. I would love to have 2 Heal dodgeball teams like in the semifinals, like playing each other for a spot.
That'd be
It'd be
great.
Oh
amazing.
my gosh.
Other stuff we do, we love doing a hayride every year. That's something that we really are kind of hoping to bring back this year. Everything kind of went to a halt during COVID, so we kind of had to adapt last year and do a lot of online activities like Among Us. We did, what's that one game called online that we do a lot?
Minecraft Bed Wars.
Minecraft Bed Wars. But, it's like a survey, not like a quiz something. Kahoot.
Kahoot. Yeah.
We do a lot of Kahoot. Just kind of trying to be friends. We do a lot of pasta dinners, anything that anybody kind of wants to do. We got obsessed with Ultimate Frisbee last year. I think we played like probably 3 times a week. Whenever anybody wanted to do something outside, we were like, this is kind of what we can do. We have to do things outside, so we'll do hikes, we'll do all this. So we make it work. We try to keep, if anybody wants to be involved and have friends, like we give them the opportunity to do a lot of things with people. So I don't know if I missed anything, Bobby, if you want to.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, dang, you guys did so good. I can't really think of anything to add. Yeah, I mean, just to kind of like summarize, we support our families both financially and emotionally, and then we also support each other because at the end of the day, Heal's a family, and I think that as an SIO, we do a really great job at not only like taking that kind of concept but really running with it. So. All right, next question. I don't have the list.
There isn't a list.
I know it's in Morgan's
my
mind.
brain. That's a lot of things are in my brain, just scary things. Just the whole week it just spins until Friday, and then I go to sleep Friday, and
You wake up Monday
I
morning.
wake up on Monday morning, and then my brain works again. Yeah, I try to turn it off on Friday, but usually it doesn't work either. Okay, anyway, sorry, not to go down a rabbit hole of how my brain just I can't process.
It wouldn't be
things.
the HEALcast if we didn't fall off a ledge somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just go spiraling now. Okay, another question that I feel like we get as well is like, and I think this is kind of more of a sappy question. Maybe it's one that like I kind of answer without people asking because I don't know how many freshmen are asking us this. But what makes you want to stay and heal, or what's kept you here for like 4 years now, which is kind of crazy because we're seniors.
Don't remind me.
It literally went by so quickly.
Right.
It's crazy what happens when like a year and a half of school gets taken.
I know, right? That's true. It feels like it was so quick, but
Like
looking
I don't
back,
feel older than the freshmen, which is like weird. Like I do
correct.
sometimes when they ask me for their snap code, I'm like, oh wait, I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
Or when you're like, you guys don't take numbers, because like when I was a freshman, we still use Facebook, and like I ask people for their number. It's crazy how like times have changed.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, before we answer that question, the other thing is that the only perk right now about being a senior after all of this COVID stuff is that we actually know our way around campus, because there were a lot of, I felt so bad, like lost puppies. I asked one girl, she was like looking around. I was like, where are you going? Like, what building are you looking for? It's like the second day of classes. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm a freshman. I don't know where I'm going. And I was like, I do not miss that at all. But she got where she was going. She's going to the chem building, so that was good. But yeah, I just feel bad too because there's so many sophomores too who are just figuring it out. But they'll do great.
Yeah, no, everybody's got it's like trial by fire. I feel like the campus seems so big when you first come, and like it still like feels big now. But I'm like, oh yeah, that building's over there. Like I don't have to think about it, but it's like.
And in your mind, you can like you know how fast you walk, you know how far it is, and you can calculate how long it's going to take you.
Hmm.
Or you know, like the shortcuts. But I remember freshman year, it would take me like 30 minutes to get where I was supposed to be going because I went from when me and Bobby had English together. I went from East all the way down to what's that building called? Hammond.
Oh, yeah, Hammond Building.
Hmm.
All the way down to Hammond. And for anyone who doesn't know, that's like complete diagonals, east to west, upper campus to lower campus.
Yep.
And it would take me so long. And then I would get to class and Bob would be like rolling in, but whatever.
I lived in West. I'd wake up 5 minutes before class started. It was
Yeah,
great.
I was like sprinting. It's fine. All right, back to the question. What keeps you in heel?
Me personally, I feel like it's like I was lucky enough to like know people in Heal when I started out. Like Maggie and Ethan were both from my high school, and it was kind of like an instant friend group. Like that's kind of like you come to Penn State and like you're like, wow, there's 45,000 people. There's no way you're gonna know everybody. It's getting involved in something and like Heal was like I was lucky that I joined Heal first. I mean, like it's like an instant group of friends. Like you want to come back. They do things so often. It's not like you have to be in another org. I mean, trust me, people do it all the time. Like you can be in as many orgs as you want, but like if you want to just do one org and like we're kind of like that all-purpose, like Swiss Army knife. Like we do everything.
The
It's
jack of
kind of
all
crazy, but
trades.
that's exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's a great explanation. I think it's very easy to say for me as well. The people, um, and I don't think that's just like a situation based on like who actually the literal people were, but just kind of like the mindset of the people in Heal, and sort of the level of acceptance that they had. I also knew a lot of people in Heal coming into it, so it was very easy for me. But those people didn't really stick around, right? Because I knew people that were seniors and super seniors, so I stayed because that just like level of respect I guess they had for us as freshmen, and that continued onward. And you're right. Heel really is kind of that Swiss Army knife, jack of all trades. You don't need another org. You don't need all these different sets of friends because we all do it together, right? So I've enjoyed it. I've had no reason to leave, and I hopefully will never have one.
I think my answer, well, first of all, when you think about it, the people in Heal, while the humans change the people and like their values and the way that they are, really don't. Like you could have someone who was a senior our year come back and hang out with someone like this year who's going to be a freshman or sophomore, and they'll still get along with the person who's a freshman or sophomore because we end up kind of recruiting the same people. And I don't mean that like everyone's the same, but like people who have the same values end up staying in Heal so much so that I really do think if like people who were seniors when we were here, so if like Matt Giuliano or Emily Foster or Garrett Zito or like any of them came back, they would still be friends with people who we're recruiting now. And like that's a pretty cool thing to say about Heal. Um, I don't know. And the other thing about Heel, which is a little bit less sentimental, is that we all usually end up living on the west side of campus too,
West
which
side,
is a
best side.
funny thing.
I
Walking home from Heel meetings, you're never going to be alone if you live on the west side because there
True.
will always be a group of people there to drop you off at your stop. So I think the thing about Heel that keeps me here too is the people in that the people change, the values don't. And you could be friends with someone, we could come back in 5 years and probably still be friends with people who were freshmen and have something that we could get along with them about, which is pretty cool because I don't know if you could say that about every single place. And yeah, I think that's something unique about Heal. So there's my answer. And then I think the last question, and this will kind of be open-ended as well, is what are you hoping for? What are your goals for this year? So like Andrew, I think we'd love to hear like your goals as a president and then our goals just as a whole for an org as we're seniors getting ready. We're not doing it yet, but to hand off like the baby that is Healed to like the next group.
yeah. So I mean, the whole thing, like when I like was running for president and stuff, is the whole thing I ran off of was transparency and inclusivity. Like that's pretty much the whole thing I'm trying to do this year. I mean, I feel like that brings people in. Like you're just honest with people. I think you don't try to do any tricks. Like you just tell them how it is. I mean, I mean everything I say. I'm not gonna go and yell at the involvement fair and say we're gonna do this and this and this and then not do it. I mean, our goal is to do everything we say we do, and I think through that, through that kind of goal and that drive and effort that like exec board is going to keep on running with things and we're going to keep on doing things that we'll have more members, we'll end up just keeping more people, and hopefully that'll roll into fundraising. We're going to stay in a top 10 org. Hopefully we can even do better than that. But really I just want to keep heels mentality, and we're going to pack more punch than our numbers can do. I think we have a lot of fight in us, and even that we're a smaller org, I want to be up there with the big ones doing what we can. So that's the general vision for everything.
Put heel on the charts. I feel like more and more now when someone says, like, when you're like, oh, this is my friend from, you know, like okay, for example, I was with one of my friends the other day. She's in Ohana and she was with a bunch of her friends as well. So she introduced me. She's like, oh, this is Morgan. You know, she's not in Ohana, obviously, but she's in the other Thon org. And they're like, oh, which one? I said Heel. And they're like, oh, we know Heel. That's so cool. I feel like 10 years ago, if you said Heel, people would be like, what are you talking
I feel like
about?
2 years ago, if you said that, people would be like, "What are you talking about?"
They'd be like, what?
People still say that to me.
Oh, I'm not saying it won't continue to happen where people don't know what it is, but people definitely more and more know who Heel is because we're the smaller org, like the little small org that has like, 50, 75, 100 members and is putting ourselves up on the board like we have 200, 300, 400 members. So
yeah, it was crazy. The president of Photo came over after the first day of the involvement fair. Is like, we kind of like were feeding off of your guys' energy. Like you guys were like all over the place and like getting a ton of people, and like that kind of is like they're at least twice our size, if not more than that. And it's like it kind of, I mean, like, yeah, we don't need your like recognition, but like it also feels like cool. Like at least like we're being seen. Like they know who we are, and hopefully like that little friendly competition benefits them. So.
Also, shout out Photo. I think they are the first ever special interest org on campus. Fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. That's a nice statistic they always throw out during Final Four, because what was it? Christopher Millard was no.
yeah.
After, well, he wasn't a Four Diamonds child. They created Four Diamonds, but I think they were the first ones to be an SIO. It's always like in Charles Millard's like thing that they talk about. Either way, that's a cool little factoid.
Because anyone who doesn't know, Thon used to only be for fraternities and sororities.
Correct.
And now Thon is so much more than just something that fraternities and sororities do.
Correct.
While they still do it, obviously we're a very good example of an org that only does Thon. So it's neat. You don't have to be in a fraternity or sorority if you don't want to, and you can still be involved in Thon. Or you can be in one and you can be involved in Thon too, whatever floats your boat. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Bobby, any goals that you have this year?
My goals are kind of broad. I also have another question, by the way, before we're done with after this one.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
But my goals for Heal and really just Thon in general, is to make Thon as great of an experience as I can, which is so broad to say, but you kind of have 4 years here, unless you're like Carmen and you decide to get your master's in accounting, and then you have 5 years here.
Unless you're like super smart.
Yeah, but you only really have 4 years here, and I kind of decided at the end of last year that I didn't want to look back and regret anything. So I really have just been going all out for Thon this year. It's my last opportunity to sort of leave a legacy, and that's what I plan to do. So I want to make an impact. I want to change things for the better, and hopefully every day is one step closer to that.
Yeah, I agree. I think coming off of a year of being told no all the time, I'm like done with saying no or being told we can't do things. And like within reason, just always trying to say, like, yeah, why not? Like, we're seniors. And honestly, it shouldn't necessarily just be a senior mentality. It should be an all 4 year mentality if you're looking to get the most out of Penn State that you possibly can. I think this isn't even just Thon related, but just as a whole of you only get 4 years and then you go, and if you're, the average person graduating from college, you're probably going to work for the next 30, 35, 40 years. So why not like enjoy this time? Like you will never live somewhere again or be in an org again where you could literally walk 5 minutes down the street and be with like some of your best friends or live with them and they like are, the room over. So I think not just for Heal, but just for life in general, like why are we saying no? And I know it's going to come back and bite me in the butt when Bobby's like, why do you always say no to me when I want to do things? So, but just in general, like, why are we saying no so much? Like, why can't you just say yes within reason? And, disclaimer that it's like a safe decision and everything, but just in general, like, why do you say no? Um, and why can't you just turn it into a yes? So I think that's kind of my goal for Heal. And I think my other thing as a family relations chair is to strengthen the bond that we have with both of our families. I think we've noticed a lot in the past year how much they have to offer Heal and how much we have to offer them. And we have the opportunity to be able to see the Hesses a little bit more in person than we were, in the first year and a half of after being paired, because we were literally paired and then COVID started, and just to deepen the relationship with them as well as the Takis. And I think that can look different for both families, and I don't think that it has to be one size fits all for both of them. But if we can continue to make sure that they feel supported in whatever way they would like to, um, then I think we did our job. So that's my answer.
Beautiful. You dropped some Skylar wisdom in there. I picked up on that.
Is that Skylar? Yeah, I feel like
Yeah, Skylar's the one who said
you're
that.
into a senior and you're just like, this is it. Like this is it. Like I'm gonna hopefully accept a job at some point this year, and then I literally will probably work in that job or other jobs until
Yeah,
what, I'm 65.
which is
That's
crazy.
mm-hmm.
It's also kind of weird to look at. Like, maybe this is me getting sentimental, but like, I feel like there's a lot of like similar personalities like in our senior classes that like get passed down. Like I can like look at our group of seniors and look at the group of seniors that like we came into, and I can like match people to like their personality from like.
Ooh, do it. This would be fun.
Okay, are we gonna actually do this?
Yeah, do it. That would be
Go
fun.
for it.
All right. So I see like Morgan is like an Emily Foster.
Love it.
Um, I see myself as a Matt Giuliano,
Yeah,
as I should. Um,
as you should.
as I should. Garrett is kind of like a Jack. Um, in a way.
I would say Andrew's a Garrett.
I think Andrew is more of like an Ethan, but he wasn't a senior, so that's kind of cheating.
Yeah.
It's not fully cheating.
But I feel like Connor's a little more Ethan like. Connor's almost like the spitting image of Ethan, just
Yes.
a different kind of goofy.
Yeah. In all great ways.
What's Carm?
Carmen. We gotta look at who we have left. Carm's also M Foss. Who am I kidding?
Yeah.
You two are two halves of the same whole.
Yeah, but we're different sides of her.
Correct.
I'm
Like,
just polar
You
side.
just like, if you merged each other, it would definitely be it.
Cellular fission.
Yeah, well, we're working on our merging. That's the big thing. Final Four-a-thon will become one
Yes.
here.
Good. Amazing. Like some Dragon Ball fusion. Right, Andrew?
Yeah. I wish I watched it.
Oh
But
my
I
gosh,
couldn't-
you're the one.
I
Yeah, you know what I'm
couldn't do
talking about. The
that. I know what you're
figures.
talking
Yeah,
about with
yeah.
that.
Okay, okay.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, it's just weird to like kind of look at that and think like if you match the personality, you almost think like, do I feel the same way they felt? Like, is this how they felt meeting me when I'm meeting these new people? So
Yeah,
It's
I'm hoping like I
exciting.
want to be. Wait, go ahead.
No, you go.
I said I want to like I'd like that's kind of what I would like think too, Bobby. Like it's like I want to make sure like that the freshmen like know that we want them there as much as like we do like in ourselves. Like
yeah,
I want to like feel that, and that's hopefully the goal we'll get across.
I agree. I thought about that a lot at the like involvement fair this year, and as like we're starting those like initial interactions with people, it's like think about how good it felt to come to Heal and to feel like you belong somewhere in such a big campus, and how do you make someone else feel like that?
yeah,
While putting your own personality into it, because the way that I might try to make someone feel comfortable will be different than the way that you guys do or anyone else. So it's like you can be more than welcoming and very nice to every single person who comes in. There's going to naturally be people who gravitate more towards you. That's just, I think, natural human nature. But if we can each be that person for a couple people, then we did our job. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
not that you're not extremely nice and outgoing and whatever to every single person,
I'm
but
not.
there's going to always naturally be people that you're going to mesh with the best. And if you can make 5-10 people this year feel like they found the place they're supposed to be, then like I think we did our job as we're leaving.
Yeah, definitely. All right, last question, and then we throw it back to the timeless classics.
But by the way, it smells like my roommates are making Rice Krispie treats, and I really hope I'm right. Okay, go ahead.
Are you gonna share?
I mean, are they gonna share with me? Because I'm not making it.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, last question that I've gotten a lot, and I think it's a great wrap-up question. People always ask, why do we have a podcast? Like, why does Heal have a podcast?
Oh, that's
So
who asked you that? I didn't know people actually wondered.
people asked me that yesterday at the meeting.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was kind of on like the other side of the room. I was talking to like some people who were newer. They probably were like so overwhelmed by new information that they weren't like, why is there a podcast?
Yeah. People were like, why do you like why? Like cool, but like why? So
I can start and then you can
yeah,
go.
sure.
So this all started during a drive to the New Jersey shore on my end because I was driving and I was on a Zoom call with Bobby and Shannon. I think Carmen was there for like a little bit. We were just catching up. It was in like May or June. And I said, I've always wanted to have a podcast. Wouldn't that be so cool? Because I enjoy listening to podcasts. If I'm walking to class, you see me with AirPods. I probably have a podcast and it's probably not music. Because I'm crazy, yes. And so Bobby said that would be so cool. We should make a Heal podcast. And I was like, I don't know if people would listen. And he's like, no, people would listen. We should do it. And we're like, okay. So we pitched the idea to our president at the time, which was Maggie. And she's like, that sounds like a great idea. And we're like, can we even do this? So we pitched the idea to R&R, and it was our liaison, or I don't even know if it was our liaison.
It was the summer fundraising liaison, Christine, who actually happened to be your next door neighbor.
Yeah, so we put that together. She said yes. And so we went ahead and did it, and she ended up being my next door neighbor that year at my apartment. So that was kind of fun, and Bobby got to know her and has like hung out with her and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And so the podcast was born, and we had, well, this is the assumption that we know what we're doing now, which we still don't. But
No
like,
clue.
if you go back a bunch of episodes, we like really had no idea what we were doing. So we just tried to put together a podcast, and over time, it got like a little bit better. Um, and so to actually answer the question, we have a podcast because we wanted to be able to tell the stories of people within Thon and within Heal. And as we're talking about now, there's so many things that as you progress through Heal, you don't necessarily know about the origins or about the people who came before you. And we thought it was so important to keep those stories alive because they play so much into why the way Heal why Heal is the way it is now, and why we continue to have the mission and passion that we do, not just within Thon, but the actual characteristics that make up Heal. So I think that's really why it was born. And Bobby, I'll let you keep going with that.
Yeah, kind of like my own selfish thoughts on it. Like last summer, like I said earlier, we only have 4 years to kind of leave a legacy and make an impact. And I was looking at um, just kind of like toying with the idea that after 4 years, you're like gone. And then what do you hear from Thon? Thon's the largest student run philanthropy in the world, but it's student run. And when you're no longer a student, you kind of have to take a step back. And I didn't really want to, and I didn't want to have to take that step back. So the podcast, in my eyes, kind of fills in that void where when you aren't a student anymore, you're still a part of Heal and the Thon community as a whole. Because at the end of the day, the HEALcast does more than just Heal stuff. We've had captains for all sorts of committees on here. Hopefully, we'll have some directors on this year, potentially an executive director. Who knows? Maybe.
People that we interviewed last year are now executive directors as well. So
Correct. Yeah. So.
That's pretty cool.
Well, no.
Between the two of us,
Directors,
we
not
have a
executive directors.
people.
We still have to get Kate. Kate Colton is
Yeah,
a
we'll
different.
get
Yeah, that we'll get there. We'll get there.
But I'm just saying we will continue between the two of us, continue to have captains, directors, and executive directors on.
Correct. But it's just a great way that something that Thon, and something I've been working with Thon firsthand on is recruitment and how we are bringing people into the organization of Thon, and something that Lily Pivoto, is it Pivoto?
Pivoto.
I don't know. Lily, if I said your name wrong, I'm sorry. I know you actually do listen, so I apologize. But
I don't know how much. I don't know if she listens every week.
she does, because she tells me she does, and she would never lie to me. Lily,
Okay. Shout out, Lily.
Yeah, Lily said when we had her on like week 6 or something that Thon is predominantly spread through word of mouth, which is awesome. But Thon has been so amazing and impactful for me and for Andrew and Morgan, I'm sure, that we want to share it with as much people as we can. So I think we would be doing Thon, the Four Diamonds and our families a disservice if we didn't try and do that. If we didn't try and use every medium available to us to recruit new people, to bring into Thon, and to share the mission of the Four Diamonds. So, long story short, this exists not only to help new people find Thon and find Heal and just understand what it's all about, but also to keep our alumni involved and engaged, and anyone, at the end of the day, we still believe that Heal is a family, and you never leave that family. So, to all our alumni who do listen, thanks for listening. Hopefully, you enjoy being kept engaged in some way, and we love to have you on from time to time. Andrew, anything else to add?
Ending wise,
Well, from that question, yeah.
From that question, I mean, I feel like for the podcast, I mean, this is kind of like an example of why we have it. I mean, we're using it like this episode at least. Any freshmen or new members that want to like listen in and see what Heal is, we can honestly use this episode like later on in the semester if people like have questions. Like it's like a nice little intro, and then this episode could give people questions to ask us in the future. Like I feel like it's definitely just a resource for people. Like you said, it outlives our time in Thon. It's there, so we put it out there and people can listen to it. So
yeah, it's a scary thing that what you put on the internet never goes away. So you can listen to it now, you can listen to it in 10 years, and it'll probably still be here, as long as we all still have iPhones. We don't have like chips in our brain or something, which I'm sure
watch it.
you'll access it through your brain chip or wherever technology is taking us. I think one more thing for anyone who's listening is that if you do want to come on and be a guest, we're always happy to have guests on. Obviously this is a very guest-based podcast. Me and Bobby don't really like talking to each other. That's a joke. If you haven't caught on, we basically just love to hear ourselves talk. That's
True.
also a joke.
Not a joke. That's actually true. I love to hear the sound of my own voice. Is some people listen to like rainforests at night to sleep. I just throw on the podcast, but I mute everyone else. It's just me talking.
All right, that's just like a little bit concerning, but that's fine. We'll just skip over that. But seriously, we'd love to have people on. So, reach out to us. I have mistakenly put my phone number on this podcast before, but we were able to delete it out. So I'm not going to give it on here.
Yeah, please don't.
Again, for the sake of personal privacy. But if you are in Heal or you're involved in Thon, you can contact us through our email, which is, I believe, but you can also contact us through our
HEALftk@gmail.com.
No, we actually have a podcast one. I'm pretty sure it's the HEALcast.
No, just
Gmail.
email the Heal one because we probably won't see the podcast.
Okay, cool.
Email the Heal
Either
one.
one
There's
works.
13 people that should be able to see it.
Yeah, so if you email healftk@gmail.com, you should be able to reach us. And then if you want to reach out to us on Instagram, I do actually monitor the Instagram. So it's the HEALcast. Once again, Heal is HEAL, cast CAST. And then if you want to reach out to Heal in general, we're Heal_PSU on Instagram.
I also link our socials on pretty much everything, so they should be somewhere wherever you're watching in YouTube, description box below, Spotify, just in the description underneath. So
there you go. Contact us if you want, or don't contact us if you don't want to. That's the moral of the story.
Great. All right, so it wouldn't be the HEALcast if we didn't end on our two favorite questions. First one. Guys, it's a new year. It's a new line dance. What is gonna be in it? We've had some time. We've got some. There are some low-hanging fruit from this summer that will easily be in there. But I have some complex ones I also want to throw out.
Go ahead, Robert. You go first.
All right. So if we're talking low-hanging fruit, I think Tokyo 2021 Olympics.
Yes.
Duh. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. Now, what happens inside of that? Will they probably mention specific athletes and stuff? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe a Simone Biles in there.
I was going to say Simone Biles. But going off of that, I'm almost positive that the Paralympics and the Olympics are now being honored as, like, they're seen as equals, which is amazing and a huge step that should have been taken probably years ago. But I feel like they could say something about that, like the money that you earn from a gold medal for each is equivalent, and then silver and bronze. So I feel like it might like incorporate that because, Thon is a very inclusive environment, and I feel like that would be a huge step forward. I mean, it's a forward as a world, and it's a huge step forward in like the community as a whole. So I feel like that might be kind of the mention.
Definitely.
And if it's not already in the plans for the line dance, then it should be, because I feel like that's worth talking about.
Yeah, we DR captains get selected here Sunday, so we know some people that are interviewing that may be frequent listeners. So maybe we'll see some of our predictions really
come to life,
taken off. Yeah.
Get the Heal
podcast.
podcast.
That'd be cool for them to listen to it and then make it.
That'd be kind of cool.
Pretty cool. All right, next up.
I think that the U.S. leaving Afghanistan will be in the line dance.
You're making it hard for me, Bob.
What? I told you these are the low-hanging fruits.
Taking the low-hanging ones.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew, you want the next low-hanging one?
I'll take a low-hanging one. Canyon's $10 now.
That is not low-hanging. That was actually my curveball I was going to say. That is like some deep Penn State lore that if you weren't on campus, you basically had to be, at least a junior to understand that Canyon Pizza used to be $8 for an extra large, and now it's $10.
And it's the $5 deal instead of the $4.
The $4 deal.
I don't know how it wouldn't be the 4 for 4. Like how.
Hey man, the alumni listening are probably outraged to hear this, but yes, Canyon Pizza has raised their prices. We are very upset about it. It needs to be in the line dance because the people need to know. It needs to be an $8 extra large pizza, not a $10 one, and it needs to be the $5 or $4 meal deal, not the $5 meal deal. It just doesn't make sense.
The only thing, since I'm so in denial that I love Canyon so much, is that Canyon is actually just getting more recognition as being the best pizza in State College, and that's why they're raising their prices.
You know, Canyon Pizza last year was actually good, and I will stand by that. I haven't had it yet this year, but last year it was delicious.
It was amazing. The pep rolls were on point.
They were fantastic.
Ranch came in single serve containers. It wasn't out
You
of
didn't
a
have to jump into like the hepatitis bucket.
Even though I kind of missed that because that's like a pro and con. Like I ran out of ranch every time.
That's true. The Canyon Ranch bucket is a cultural phenomena that should never exist, but I'm glad it does.
I still have to get my shirt. They sell shirts.
Yeah, I need to get a
Look at
Canyon
that.
shirt.
Plug in Canyon and the Heal podcast.
Sponsor us, please. We love you.
Oh God. Here's a very low-hanging fruit. The Dream Forward campaign is back, so they'll definitely mention it and how much money. Hey, I said it was low-hanging.
That's true. I know. I agree. That's good. I
didn't say it first.
Penn State football's back in person.
Penn State football is back. We have a new basketball coach.
Yeah.
So men's basketball. So maybe if men's basketball starts actually performing with him, then easily.
Chadwick Boseman was he in the last one?
Huh?
Was Chadwick Boseman in the last one?
Yes.
He was.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A being a new chicken place, that was also in the last
Yeah, Slim's Chicken.
It wasn't in the last one, was it?
I think we had.
I'm sorry, we talked about it last year.
Yeah, we did.
We talked about the the Evergreen blocking the Suez Canal, or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know if we did.
I think we did. That was like right after Thon, though.
Did something go to space?
Oh yeah, Bezos went to space, man. That'll be in there.
And Richard Branson. But I don't know if they'll put that in there.
Bezos literally launched himself into orbit.
What about didn't we have a really solid recruiting class or something? Like we have the top rated recruiting class for
2025, right?
No, next year.
This year, 2026. It would be next year's freshman.
Okay, yeah, 2026.
2025 this year.
But maybe they'll save that to see what happens. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we'll have more info come Thon weekend too.
Yeah.
There's gotta be so many. I feel like we have to like cross out as many as we can, so you can't have people taking low hanging ones for your next.
Hopefully, Thon will be in person, and then that'll be in the line dance. As of now, it's still unknown if Thon will be in the BJC or not. I think everyone's very hopeful that it will be in the BJC, but there has been no official announcement, and we have no clue. So
cross every piece of your body.
Your
toes, fingers, your arms, everything.
Just hope we're back to complete normal by then. I mean,
yeah,
we know how to do it. If
it's not, we know what we're doing. So
we have somewhat of a blueprint.
Yeah.
Carson, if you're listening, hit up your mom again.
Yeah, help a brother out.
Thank you for shooting those family videos if you're listening.
There was another one.
The Delta variant.
Yeah.
I hope they don't include that. I don't want to talk about COVID in the line dance.
COVID, it's gonna be somewhere.
It'll be somewhere, but
something about masks.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do that if we have an in-person Thon to do last year's line dance in person.
It's gonna be so weird.
The chorus slaps.
That's true.
It's just that we weren't in person because what is it? Elevate, prepare to fly.
Speakers up, amplify.
Yeah, like that would be sick in person.
I actually didn't mind it. Last year's would be great because you're honestly getting a workout while doing it.
Yeah, we were doing like deep squats, man.
Yeah.
They really wanted us to stretch.
Trying to think of any major world events because there definitely are some.
Yeah.
The world events section is going to be tough because I feel like there's so much that they're going to have to choose from.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be something about hurricanes maybe. And
oh yeah, I mean hurricane. What is it? Iba just hit New Orleans.
Yeah, it's about a flat
tomorrow.
for the next couple years.
Yeah, we're about to get. I mean, this rain right now is technically part of it. It's currently raining. It is Tuesday, August 31st. So, these
Supposed to
next
be
2 days
so
are going to have to be
fast.
very wet for us in State College.
5 inches or something like that.
5 inches of rain. That's what I saw, which seems kind of crazy, but
That's a ton actually.
that is a large amount of rain.
That would be what? How many feet of snow?
So the general rule of thumb that I saw was
Yeah,
1 inch of rain is about 10 inches of snow accumulation. So that would be 5 inches of rain would be 50 inches of snow accumulation, or like little over 4 feet.
It's a lot.
There are people here that would be like shorter than the snowbanks,
Yeah.
or just the snow on the road in general. Like there are
Too
people
bad
straight
tropical
up,
storms don't make it up here in the winter.
right? Because we'd never have class, man.
We
Exactly.
wouldn't be able to uncover our cars. My car is probably 5
I wouldn't be
feet.
able to get out of my house, man. 4 feet of snow in front of the door.
It's a
That's
lot.
true. You have to be shoveling all night.
Yeah.
Keep up with it. So yeah, hopefully this rain is. I don't know. I feel terrible for people who are like getting hit with the storm directly. Like I know Louisiana's just been
In trouble.
getting with storms and everything. So
Hearts go out.
Yeah. Hopefully everything in the next couple days is the least worst it can be. I know that's not proper English, but you know what? I'm an educator.
We don't. Yeah, we're not educated here.
No.
we haven't graduated yet, so we don't really know.
Yeah. Words are hard.
Mhm.
All right. I think that's good for line dance. We're coming up on close to time. We said it was gonna be a short episode, but we're at 51 minutes right now. It's just kind of whack. It's just
We
so
don't
much fun
have to
talking with you
ask
guys.
we don't have to ask Andrew the why-you-thon because we've asked him before.
Well, the question we always ask at the end is, what does thon mean to you? Why don't we just, Andrew, you don't want to answer it?
But
I
he's
can
already
say
answered it before.
Yeah, you can just answer it again. It'll be fine.
I said the first time, but I'll just go with it. When I first kind of like getting into thon, like I got involved in high school, just on teams and stuff. But before that, it was kind of, I don't know if anybody who hasn't heard before, my brother kind of had aplastic anemia, which was a rare form. It's like a rare disease that compromises your immune system. He needed a bone marrow transplant, and I was lucky enough to be his match. But it's like 2 in a million, and that kind of hearing the stories from Thon, I kind of wish like Thon was bigger and service more hospitals. It's like we were lucky. Ronald McDonald House kind of helped out there, and they provided like a camp for the kids that we could go to every year. But definitely kind of missing out on Thon. It's like you want something like that to be everywhere. But that kind of threw me into Thon and how I wanted to be involved in that, and like hearing our family stories. Like, well, everyone's different. It's like that same initial shock of like hearing like that someone's been diagnosed is like it like hits you to your core, and like it feels like you're back there every time. But yeah, that's pretty much why I thought I want to help out those families that are going through that initial shock, give them like a stable place, and kind of give them that hope that people survive. There's a will to fight. Like it's not over. Like it's not over until you throw your last punch. So it's being that hope and that bright light to people in their worst times.
Awesome. Great answer. And for Andrew's previous answer, you can look like 3 episodes back because it was probably only like 2 or 3 episodes ago that we had you on. But yeah.
Run for most podcast guests.
Huh?
Who will make the run for most guests?
Most appearances on the podcast, I believe, is currently held by Matt Giuliano.
Or Connor.
Actually, no. I think it might be Maggie. Maggie or Connor. I think Maggie.
We'll have to figure it out before we hand over the reins.
Yeah.
Connor's
Either way.
Most time to keep on adding to his total.
That's true. Yeah. All right. Well, think that's it. We're coming up on about an hour, so we're gonna cut it. Any last words to the first episode of what? Season 2 of the HEALcast.
Season 2. Say yes more. That's my final thought.
Amen to that. And if you're a new member, feel free to come meetings, say hi. We're not scary and big it's big seniors. I feel like a freshman every day. I'm walking around sometimes. So
Andrew walks around with his key on his lanyard and his lanyard around his neck. So Andrew actually is a freshman in
That's true.
disguise.
I'm fine. I'm young. I am.
Yeah,
I'm gleaming. I don't
young
look.
in heart, right?
I'm gonna stay here for another 4 years.
Hey, you and me both. Unfortunately, my bank account does not want me to do that, so I can't.
Right back at you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is going to be it from us. Thank you to everyone at home for listening or watching on YouTube. Check us out where you stream any of your podcasts. Always a blast to do this. We will be back again next week with a new guest. We're excited to be back and ready to go. And we can't wait to take you guys all on this journey with us. So until next time, thanks for watching or listening, and keep on dancing.